Hello, and welcome into your IELTS Super Wednesday. Today we're going to be talking about listening. Can you hear me? Can you see me very well? Could you write to me in the comment section, put smiley faces and pluses that you are all ready to get insights into IELTS listening. And listening, to some people, is one of the most difficult sections. If you think that listening is really difficult for you, could you let me know that yes, listening is really hard. So, for those who don't know me, I'm Maria, hello, and I used to be an academic director at an official IELTS test center, so I've worked together with IELTS examiners and I do know stuff about IELTS, yeah. And now I work on my project, Your IELTS, and also I've got a podcast, IELTS Speaking for Success podcast. Yes, and Your IELTS, we have a website, and there you can do an IELTS test online. We have IELTS guides, we have an Instagram account with nice posts about different, like IELTS speaking. We also have Superman full writing course, where you can have lessons on graphs and essays. And also on Your IELTS website, you can have a look at different articles on all parts of the exam, which is really useful, and also about IELTS. Yeah, so take a look. You can take a look and subscribe also to the Instagram and Facebook and everything. Yeah. Okay, and the podcast, we are doing the podcast with Rory. Rory is from Scotland, and we're discussing the recent IELTS topics. And also the podcast is good for speaking and listening. So you kill two birds with one stone. Here's an idiom for you. Yeah. So take a look at the podcast. You can listen to it pretty much everywhere. And also we have a website. Yeah, I'm posting the links for you. Yes, have a look here. So really useful stuff if you want to boost your grammar and vocab. Okay, so listening. How difficult is it for you? From 1 to 10, okay, as usual. 1 is super easy, 10 is really hard. How difficult is listening for you? In the comments. And what band score would you like to get for your listening? Okay, so from 1 to 9, what ideally would you like to get for your listening? Yes, let's be ambitious. Okay, I want to get like 8, like yay. Because 8 is a good score. And oh yes, 7, 9, yes, excellent. Be ambitious, good. Okay, good. Well, ambitious people. Yes, I'm proud of you. Excellent. And listening IELTS format, as you know, in IELTS academic or in IELTS general, listening is the same. Okay, the same thing for everybody. We have 4 sections in listening, and we have 40 questions always. And listening takes 30 minutes if you take a paper-based exam, and a little bit less if you take a computer-based exam. And here we are coming to these 2 formats: computer-based IELTS and paper-based IELTS. Now tell me, who prefers to write with a pencil or a pen and to use some paper, Or who would like to take their IELTS on a computer? Could you let me know in the comment sections? There's one section. So, would you go for CDT, computer delivered test? Yes, CDT is crazy. Or PBT, paper-based test? Because when you prepare for your listening, and actually when you prepare for your exam, it's really important for you to understand if you're going to take IELTS on paper or on the computer, because preparation is going to be different, yeah? Okay, so people, yeah, paper, Okay, right. Actually, most students take paper-based, I don't know why. Okay, what's better? What's better? We don't have this question like what's better? What's better for you? right? Because it depends on the person. Some people prefer the keyboard, they prefer typing, and the essay, they type the essay, right? They do the listening using headphones, right? But some people prefer paper, like feeling the paper, write with a pencil. So it's up to you. You should, for example, try out a computer delivered IELTS just online. Yeah, there are tests online, and then paper-based IELTS. Just like download some materials, print them out, and try it out, and decide for yourself. Okay, computer-based is usually more expensive. Right. So you guys, if you go for computer delivered test, you should train your listening skills using headphones, okay? Because in the exam, you're gonna have a cubicle like in the photo, right? And the personal computer, and you're gonna be using headphones. However, in a paper-based test, there are going to be some speakers or like a tape recorder, as in the picture, yeah? So the sound is going to be coming from an external source, right? And if, for example, you've been training using headphones, it's going to be very difficult for you in a paper-based exam to hear the voices from somewhere, yeah? So the preparation is different. Okay. Now, we are not going to have this question-answer section at the end of the webinar, so if you have questions, you just write to me in the comment section. If you take a computer-delivered test, the results you get much earlier. Usually, they say 5 days, but actually many students get the results on the 3rd day, even on the 2nd day. So you take a computer-based test, and then on the 2nd day, you get your results. It's interesting, but paper-based on the 13th day, right? Okay, and also like if, for example, you have deadlines and like, oh my god, you wake up and understand, I need my IELTS, you can take a computer delivered test and get your results like on the 2nd day, on the 3rd day. So those ambitious people, which is very good to be ambitious, you told me that you want an 8. So to get an 8 for the listening section, you need to have 35 correct answers. Yeah, I have this 35 in the pinky circle. So 35 out of 40. So to get an 8, you can make 5 mistakes, which is nice, you know, to make mistakes. If you want to get a 9, and some people want a 9, you can make 1 mistake for a 9. For a 7, yes, you should have 30 correct answers out of 40, which is doable, you know. To get a 7, you can make 10 mistakes. But again, to be on the safe side, think of like 9 mistakes, right? 8 mistakes. So 30 correct answers and you'll get 7. For 6, you need 23, yeah? And these are the official, this is the official information from IELTS.org, the official website. You need, like, for example, 23 to get a 6, and it's the same for IELTS Academic and IELTS General. So, you know, if you are in the exam and you need, for example, 7 for your listening, and kind of you are kind of stressing out, oh my god, it's okay. You can make mistakes and still get 7. Okay? And if, for example, you miss an answer in the exam and you go like, I've missed the answer, especially in listening section 1, yeah? People start stressing out, freaking out, oh, I've made a mistake, I didn't hear what they said. And then they think, no, I'm not gonna do the rest of it. No, just, you know, for a 7, you need 30 correct answers so you can make mistakes. Okay, now, any questions about the format, about computer-based listening? One thing which makes listening very tricky is that in IELTS, you listen only once. So you miss it, that's it, right? In Cambridge exams, they play the recording twice, but in IELTS, you have one go, one chance. Yeah, lose it, that's it. Arrivederci. Yes, and also in a paper-based exam, you use a pencil. Yes, they give you a pencil and you write down your answers in pencil, in listening and reading. Computer-based, you kind of type your answers, yeah? Okay, right, so we're gonna start with life hacks. So top 7 listening life hacks. If you have questions, could you please, as we go with life hacks, could you just let me know and write your questions in the comment section. So the first life hack is know the tricky tasks. IELTS people create super tricky tasks to confuse you. You know, the trained people who create these tasks to confuse you. Yeah, but you should know the task types and the tricks that they use to confuse you. So, IELTS listening part 1 is always like this. Okay, it's always a table and two people are speaking, and it's kind of on a general topic. Yeah, the task, however, is different all the time. Look at this. Write one word and or a number. And or a number. How do you understand this? Is it and or both? Can you write 2 words here in this task in the comment? Can I write 2 words and a number? No. Can I write 1 word and 2 numbers? Oh, many people don't read the task. They read like write 1 word and a number, or a number and they write 2 words. And it's a mistake, you know? So here, Cambridge people want you to read the task and do what they tell you to do. But yes, 1 word and a number, or just 1 word, or it could be a word and a number, yeah? Or it could be 1 number. Yeah? Like no words, but 1 number. This task changes, right? And throughout the test and also in reading, this task changes. For example, you can have this no more than 2 words, right? You can write 1 word, 2 words, but 3 words, no, it's going to be a mistake. Or 1 word only. So you write 1 word, not a number, but 1 word. Please be very attentive because this is a very common mistake. Just people forget the task. I usually, if it's paper-based, I just take my pen or pencil, I just write like 1, right? Yeah, or like 2, so for me to understand, yeah? Okay, so this is the format, and usually there are 10 questions. The tricks of this task is that they want you to catch factual information. So you have to catch phone numbers, dates, telephone numbers, emails, names. And here we have the name Sophie Bird. But usually when they dictate a name, oh, what's your name? My name is Sophie Manuja. And you go, what? And then, let me spell it for you. BTUG5, and then you lose it. Yeah? Because of these letters, double O, W, P, B, yeah, A, I, and then we start C, S, dollar, S like dollar, C. So, know your letters and know your numbers, because very often you have to write numbers, for example, money. Very often they have money in number 5, take a look, the cost of the ticket, how much does it cost? So you have to write down the number. Yeah, that's the trick. Now, in part 2, here usually you have a table or you have ABC, multiple choice questions, everybody's favorite multiple choice. In a table, the answers could be very close together, so you should be kind of like very careful for your keywords. And also here we have 1 word and or a number. This one is a typical task, ABC. And the trick here is that they will mention everything. I mean, they will mention A and B and C, but the answer is only 1. 1 is correct. This is totally confusing, but not so confusing as part 3. Yeah, because in part 3 there are also multiple choice questions, and here we have to do what is this? Mosquitoes. In part where was I? In part 2, you have to multitask. You have to read and listen at the same time. And if kind of you're not good at listening and reading at the same time, you might be confused. Yeah. A good technique that you can try out is that as you listen, you, instead of choosing the correct answer, you cross out incorrect answers. You see? You are not choosing the correct one, you cross out incorrect ones. So kind of, no, I haven't heard anything, it's not A. B is about different thing, not B. Oh, I don't know the answer, I haven't heard the answer, but it's not A, it's not B. It's C. Do you see? So sometimes, we want to catch the correct answer, but because you don't know the words, you haven't understood everything, you just don't know the correct answer. But you can be sure that this is not correct and this is not correct. Yeah? So this is an interesting technique. Again, not always works. Maybe it doesn't work for you, but it's nice to try it out. So in listening part 2, they often have a map. Yes, it's a typical task for listening part 2. In writing, we can also have a map. And dear ladies, who has problems with left, right, where is left, right? You should be very careful, and if you take a paper-based exam, you should write in your pen or pencil, like left, okay, here's my right, R, and left, L. R and L in the paper, because when you hear, to the right, you see R, right, you move there. Because very often people confuse this left and right thing. Not only ladies, okay, yeah. Okay, we have a question. Should we write numbers in 12 in words? No, numbers you write as numbers. Okay, so if you hear 50, you write 50 as a number, just like 50, okay? Just like this. If you need to write the year, like 1977, so you write 1977, just like this. Numbers are numbers. So yes, make sure that you do some map tasks to get ready for maps, because they are quite tricky. Okay, speaking. Listening section 3, we have more difficult tasks, because listening section 3, there are several people. 2 people, a tutor and a student, or 3 people, 1 tutor and 2 students. Yeah? So you should be ready for 3 different voices and their names, and you should make sure that you understand who is called by what name. These are typical tasks, and again, pretty tricky. Yeah? Here, for example, you have to choose 2, and these are not in order. Okay, you might hear E first and then A, so everything is not in order. And a very typical task is this, like people, you match people to topics, right? And these ones also. And multiple choice, ABC questions, very often in listening section 3, which like we have more difficult multiple choice questions. Again, they talk about everything, but the answer is one is correct. You see, they're all different, right? The tasks. Listening section 4 is always a lecture. Yes, even if you take a general IELTS, it's a mini lecture, and this one is about a tree in Australia. Yay! So it's always academic. It could be about the environment, nature, the evolution of horses, the evolution of guitars, or management theories, or about some bees or whales, dolphins, space or whatever, some inventions. So you should be ready to listen to some academic English, which means that you should listen to TED Talks, some lectures in English, on academic subjects. Right. So these are 4 listening sections, with typical tasks. How do you train yourself? You get these books, because IELTS, Cambridge IELTS tests, the 15th book is the latest book, is the official materials, and they are reliable, right? However, in the exam, people say, like, people who have taken the exam already, they say that in the real exam, they speak faster than even in IELTS 15 book. Yeah. You can also have a look at IELTS Progress Check for $65, to take this official kind of test from Cambridge and see like what score you can get. Or you can go to your IELTS, hey, and we have a test that you can do online, and a listening test. I'm gonna put the link in the chat here. Okay, yes, before I took the exam, I think I did 7 tests. Yeah, 7 listening tests. So, moving on, the second life hack is be ready for accents. Yes, accents, I mean British English, American English, Asian English, Canadian, Australian, New Zealand English. Yes, different accents. If you are used to British English and then in the exam you hear some Americans speaking, you can kind of, what? What is this? Is this English? British English is the best English, yes. Are you British English or American English? Could you write to me in the comments? Are you British or American? I'm British. Yeah, so, and TED Talks, yeah, TED Talks are good to be, like, to expose yourself to different accents, to make sure that you kind of, you listen to non-native speakers, right? Because in IELTS, very often, like, Asian students talk. Ooh, yay, people are American. Yes, the Queen, British English. Yes, good. Americans are bastardizing the language. No, Americans are laugh. Okay, the third life hack is know your synonyms. Because in IELTS listening and reading, everything, well, pretty much everything is paraphrased. Okay, what do I mean by paraphrasing? Take a look. In the listening task, we have convenient. For example, like in the box somewhere, blah blah blah, convenient. On the recording, they say handy. And then if you're not ready, you can miss it, right? And then you miss the answer. In the task, it's written local animals, but on the recording, we have snakes, tigers, monkeys, which are local animals, right? For example, here, this is listening section 1. I have this paraphrase. Take a look at number 5, question number 5. Pay is usually pounds per hour. 5 is not the number of how many pounds, it's the number of the question. Okay? Question 5. Now, pay. What synonyms could we have for pay? In the comments. Indian accent? No, I don't think we have Indian accents in IELTS. If there is an Indian person, this Indian person will speak standard English. All the accents in IELTS listening, they are kind of standard English. Yeah. Right, now, are you ready for the synonym? On the recording, they say the hourly rate, so the rate per hour. And here in the task we have per hour, and on the recording they say hourly rate. Ta-da! Do you see? Everything is paraphrased. Yeah, and you should be ready for this. Now, yeah, right, absolutely. So, you guys, it's your turn now. Could you write synonyms for these 3 words in the task immediately? What could be on the recording in the comments? Nearly everyone. Synonyms. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's an interesting one. What synonyms can we hear on the recording? And also, kind of, if you think synonyms are similar words, yes, but in certain IELTS tasks, they may not be even kind of similar. They're kind of like, they generally have the same meaning, but you will be surprised, like, oh, whoa, that's synonyms? Really? Yes. Okay, good. Think of synonyms. Yeah, that's a strategy. When you read the task before the recording plays, you think of the synonyms. You think, how can they paraphrase it? So for you to be ready, because they will paraphrase. When they can, they will paraphrase. Okay, right. Good. These are the answers. So on the recording, straight away, like do it immediately, do it straight away. Most people, yeah, and this one, 3 consecutive days. Consecutive, it's an interesting word. It means like something goes one after another, right? So without any breaks. For example, like 3 consecutive weekends. I've been working during 3 consecutive weekends. So 3 weekends non-stop in a row I've worked. Yeah. So 3 consecutive days. And again, if you kind of don't know this word, you might get confused and miss the answer. But here we have days. Yeah, like Monday, Tuesday, days. I know, yeah, synonyms could be tricky, but we have synonyms in reading and listening. So you kill 2 birds with 1 stone when you prepare your synonyms for listening and reading. Yeah, that's a nice idiom. Okay, so the 4th life hack, master spelling. Yes, who has problems with spelling? Could you make some noise in the comments? Who has? I have problem with spelling. Native speakers have problems with spelling. In IELTS, if you spell the words incorrectly, you get 0 for your answer. And this is really unfair because kind of you caught the words, it's correct, it's the answer, but you just, you just spell it in the wrong way and you lose your point. American spelling, British spelling are all acceptable. Yeah, but in IELTS, very often you spell crazy words like this. Ooh. Could you read the words and tell me like which words are difficult? Yeah. For example, clarinet. Once I did a test with my students and the answer was clarinet. So this is musical instrument, yeah? And then I was like, oh my god, how do you write clarinet? I made a mistake when I wrote this. It's crazy. So, which of these words are tricky? And if in the exam you had to write one of these words, which word would be very tricky for you? Cheers. Amateur is quite tricky. Okay, and also, for example, these words as pottery. Pottery. You know, when they make these things out of clay. Pottery. We spell like this, double T. Microscope. Can anybody spell microscope? Texture or engineer. Engineer. Could you spell engineer? A very common word for spelling. Corridors, like corridors in a flat. Corridors, double R. Insects, for example. Insects. We have S and C. Microscope. Yes, Agnia, you're on the ball. Engineer. Perfect. Yay. Well done. Yes. Saul. I'm sorry if I haven't pronounced your name correctly. Yes. Well done. Insects. Yeah. Then drought, when there's no water. Drought. Climbing. You know, these tricky words. Drought. How do you spell drought? What to do about spelling? You go to IELTS tests book 15 and you take a look at the answers, okay? At listening answers and reading answers. Yes, Catherine, you're on the ball. Drought, correct? And take a look. Here we have answers to listening, posters, yes, insects. There you go, insects, you know, they're everywhere. Then part 4 is pretty much very tricky about spelling. Irrigation was the answer. Irrigation, God. Preservation, ooh, and also reading answers could also help. Carriageway, communities, ooh. Yeah, emissions, there you go, that's tricky. So you know, when there are 15 IELTS books, so you can take a look at the answers in this book, in these books, and then write the tricky words, the words which are tricky for yourself. And also perhaps write with a pen, yeah, because when we type, we have correction services. Word corrects us, but you should like write with a pen so you know how to spell the word. Okay, right. The next life hack: never leave anything blank. Okay, many students they miss the answer and they can, oh, I don't know the answer, but I just leave it, and they leave everything empty. No, take a guess. Really, take a wild guess. Maybe it's gonna be correct, especially with this ABC. Oops. with this ABC answers. If you miss the answer, it's like listen to your intuition, like the third eye, like I feel it's C, and maybe it's correct. I had a student once, Ivan. I'm not sure he's watching this webinar, so Ivan, hello. And Ivan is an IT person, and his level of English was kind of like lower intermediate, maybe sometimes pre-intermediate. But he was very good at guessing the correct answers, and somehow in listening and also in reading, he did very well guessing the answers. So he got, I think, something like 7 or 6.5 for listening and reading, something crazy. I go like, Ivan, how did you do that? He goes like, I'm an IT guy. So if you have this good intuition and you can guess the answers, and so yeah. Yeah, so take a guess, like let something be there. Okay. Now, an interesting thing which I'm gonna tell you about listening section 4. Yes, we have a secret, and why listening section 4 is such a tricky section, and why is it different from the other sections. Are you ready? Yeah, so listening section 4 is like this. So it's a mini lecture, yeah, and the task pretty much looks like this, right? So it's a table and you fill in the gaps, usually with one word, sometimes 2 words, but usually 1. Now, and in listening section 1, we have a similar box, but much easier, yeah, about like common topics. But here, the topic is challenging, right? And also, here, they first tell you the end and then give you the answer. What do I mean by that? So in listening section 1, we follow like it provides, and we hear synonym, it gives you, and then they tell us the answer, and then they give us synonyms for food, species. Yeah? So it's an order, right? However, here it may not be in order, and if you are waiting for them to paraphrase or say provides, and then you're waiting for them to give the answer, you might miss the answer, because they might first tell you food for a wide range of species or paraphrase it and then give you the answer. Do you see? So they first mention this end, yeah, of the sentence, and then they give you the answer. But in other sections, they they give you the answer and then they keep going. Yeah, but here it's just like this. Again, not always, but it happens. For example, let's take a look at 39 and 40, okay? Take a look. So, blah 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 ecosystem. So, and here am I waiting. They should give me an adjective, like, difficult, and then they should say ecosystem. Right? But on the recording, and I'm gonna read it for you, the recording, unlike tropical rainforest, which is a rich ecosystem, this type of ecosystem is usually a simple one. You see, they say ecosystem first, and then they give you the answer. And here we see that ecosystem is like after the answer. Do you see what I mean? Yeah? So you should be ready. They say ecosystem first, and then they give you the answer. So in this case, we choose simple. Right? Listen again. Unlike tropical rainforest, which is a rich ecosystem, this type of ecosystem is usually a simple one. Simple. Yeah, a simple ecosystem. Yeah, number 40, the same story. Take a look. An ideal environment for the of the bell miner. Bell miner, well, maybe it's a bird, maybe it's a bug, but some creature. Yeah. On the recording. Ideal for the bell miner, which builds its nests in the under blah 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 blah. Right? For the, builds its nests. An ideal environment for the and the answer is nests. Yeah, but here we on the recording we hear ideal for the bell miner. They first tell us bell miner and then they give us the answer. Yes, now you know the secret, and if you are not ready for this in the listening, you may miss the answer because you're gonna go like this, but in this section you should be like whoa, like that, and also kind of woof, like this. Okay, does it make any sense? Do you like understand what's going on with the listening section 4? Oh yes, Elmaz, good question. Do we have enough time to read everything before they start playing? Maybe not. If you are a fast reader, you will, because they will give you 1 minute before they play section 4. In other sections, they have 30 seconds for you to read the questions and then the recording starts. But because section 4 is huge, it's humongous, yeah? They give you 1 minute to read through the questions, yeah? So you should train this fast reading. Yes, Catherine, I agree. It's interesting, and then now you can notice this, you know, again, not always, but sometimes they have this in section 4. Okay, right. Yes, now you know the secret. Right, another important life hack is that if you miss the answer, you should stay calm and keep going. Because when I first took my IELTS, I was like, I'm gonna have a 9, you know, I understand everything. And then I kind of like, I'm in the exam, okay, but I wanted a 9, so I couldn't make any mistakes. So I was like, you know, like this, focused. And then like in section 2, they say something, blah, blah, blah. Seriously, like that. And I go, what? I missed an answer, like what? And then bam, I missed another one. So I missed 2 answers in a row. Don't repeat my mistakes. If you miss one, it's okay. Like, keep going, right? Stay cool, stay calm, especially in section 1. It's very frustrating if you miss like one answer, and then if you miss another answer, and then you go like, oh, I've missed 2 answers. You have 38 more questions, okay? So really, guys, relax, take it easy. For band 7, you can make 10 mistakes, okay? In a table, the answers might go very quickly. For example, 15 and 16 could be very quickly, right? 19 and 20, they can be very close together or may not be close together. Yeah, that's why. Thank you, Natalia. Yeah, but I got 8.5 for this listening because I missed these 2 answers. But thank you, that's very nice. Yes, so sometimes answers are together and sometimes answers are not together, and you're kind of like, oh yeah, it's kind of, there are no keywords, and then a bam, the answer. Yeah, so stay alert, stay focused. Now you guys, what are your questions about listening? So we are coming to the end, and now I can answer your questions about listening and also other parts. I have an IELTS writing course, and the writing course is like a full writing course. I give you the graphs, like all types of graphs. There are 8 lessons on graphs, and you can have a free lesson on pie charts. And if you struggle with pie charts, that's going to be a very useful lesson for you. So you can get it free. And I've combined all this information, like from my students, from the examiners, from all the kind of thousands of websites that I've read before, and also like from my own practice, from my teacher training, because I train teachers. I've checked, I think, I know, thousands of essays, seriously. I've checked, I think, 4 essays today. This is the link to get a special offer on this course. We have a special price only today for you, so check it out. And for example, one video about graphs is about like 1 video, 1 graph. So it's kind of a full lesson about a certain type of graph, right? And kind of in detail we go over the structure, like how to write introductions, like overall statements, what should you write, like linking, grammar structures, like for example processes, what grammar to use, yeah, maps, there are special words you should use about maps, yeah, so it's all there. The same with essays, yeah, because there are different essays, different types, yeah. Here you go. There are benefits, drawbacks, 2-question essays, like typical in IELTS. And on the course you pretty much have all the videos about these essays. And also we have some guides for you for free, so you kind of get the course and plus you get some guides. So if you enjoy reading, you can take a look at the guides and take a look at the sample answers. Plus you get all the PDFs of the presentations, and pretty much, for example, you have 8 graphs, so you get 8 sample answers for band 9. And pretty much all you want to know about essays, about how to structure the answer, because there are different ways of structuring the answers, you know. And posh grammar and posh vocabulary. Yeah. Okay, and it's cool that our course is like my course, yeah, is on one platform, so you can use your smartphone and take a look, you know, take screenshots, and you can use your computer. It's 24/7, and presentations are in English, and the same presentations are in Russian. So I actually have 2 courses, one in English and the same is in Russian. So you can kind of have a look at the English course, and then the same is in Russian if you feel that you need to understand everything. Okay, let's now sum up the life hacks. So these are the life hacks, the listening life hacks that we've been talking. What's the nation of that speaker? Evgeny, what do you mean, the nation of whose speaker? Okay, so we have some questions. Does IELTS training help with studying at uni later, or should I better learn some more about academic stuff? IELTS training does help with academic writing and listening also, because well, at uni you're going to be listening to lectures, so it does help, but you should also study additional academic stuff, because essays at uni are different. They're extended and you're going to be writing much more, and the format is a bit different, because IELTS essay is kind of like, it's a baby essay, but a university essay, it's like the essay, you know. So you definitely should study more academic stuff, but reading in academic IELTS will help you, yeah, because you read about academic texts. Okay, so Evgeny writes, I've done several tests with Cambridge test books. There's a dialogue in part 2 often. Yep. Okay, in part 2, are you sure? Okay. One voice is with an accent. I thought it's like Indian accent. Oh gosh, like Evgeny, what IELTS test book do you mean? And what was it about? I don't know the nation of the speaker. They can be, I know, from different countries, but again, they speak with standard pronunciation. But I agree that some speakers are quite difficult to understand. Right, we have a question. Can you bring your own pencil on the exam? Yes, you can, but there mustn't be any words on your pen. For example, here, look, there are no symbols, no words. If you bring, for example, a bottle of water, you should get rid of the label, because there shouldn't be any words, any English syllables, you know, and no English letters, yeah. You can't even bring a watch. You can bring your pencil. You should consult the managers though, that okay, so I want to bring this pen, is it okay? They kind of look at your pen, yeah, it's like there is nothing, so you can bring it, yeah. But in the exam they give you a pencil and pens. Right, what else, you guys? What questions? Do we have additional time to check our answers in listening on the computer-based test? Yes, you do. On the computer-based, you don't transfer the answers to the answer sheet, because in paper-based you do have 10 minutes to transfer the answers to the answer sheet. at the end of listening test. On the computer-based exam, no, you have about 2 minutes to check the answers. 2 minutes. Will you check essays in the course? Yes, we have an writing check service. Our technical support, could you give us a link to our writing check service? Yes, there'll be a link to our writing check. I check the essays, or I delegate this to my super experienced colleagues who used to be examiners. So yeah, we have very quality essay check, by the way. Right, so our tech support will send the link to the writing check. You guys, you can take a look at the article about spelling on our website. Here we have super difficult words which are really tricky to spell. So take a look at the article here on the website. And yeah, the IELTS test that you can do online, like listening, is here. Okay, we have more questions. Lovely. I have heard earlier a recommendation to write answers in capital letters. Yes, it's correct. It's very useful if you like a computer-based test or paper-based test, and if the answer is, I know, students, so you write everything in capitals. Yes, it's easier to check, and then you don't worry about capital letters, you know, like, yeah. In all capital letters, the same in reading. Yes, absolutely, it's okay. Because some people who take a paper-based exam, their handwriting might be very hard to read. That's why, yeah, capital letters. Okay, lovely. Our next webinars, so next Wednesday, you guys, we're gonna be, oh no, this Saturday, yes, they're gonna be super webinar this Saturday, and we are organizing it with the podcast, Success with IELTS podcast, to idiom or not to idiom. Oh my god, it's gonna be so interesting. I'm gonna be the speaker, so this Saturday, 24th of October, 12 o'clock Moscow time, to idiom or not to idiom in your IELTS speaking. Because yeah, many people they learn idioms and then they use idioms incorrectly and they kind of lose the scores. So here's the link. You can register for the webinar. It's free. So it's going to be very useful. And next Wednesday, we're going to be talking about speaking and about posh words for your speaking. The links are in the comments. So yeah, so take a look. And thank you so much for your time, for your attention. Break a leg. That's another idiom. Yeah, to kill two birds with one stone and break a leg. Break a leg. I don't want you to break any legs, but I want you to be successful. So break a leg, it means be successful, like get the score that you want for IELTS. So you can subscribe to like Instagram, Facebook, your IELTS, and the podcast. So I'll see you somewhere in this virtual or maybe real world. Okay, so thank you very much. Bye. Thank you.